Hey, now we're going to go to the best of South Italy. So we just spent 13 days around Sicily. This is jumping off from Rome and going south instead of north. I would say 10% of the people jumping off from Rome go south and 90% go north. And I know a lot of people, they get down to Rome, and some people, for them, that's enough. Italy is a pretty rich brew, and okay, I've seen Italy, and it was a little bit chaotic for them, and a little bit intense, and a little bit crazy. Other people, they love it, and they want more. I would say if you love Italy, as the time you get down to Rome, go further south because it gets better. Italy just intensifies as you plunge deeper south. And here, with the help of our local guides like Tomasso, we've put together a beautiful 13-day itinerary. It starts in Rome, and it's sort of designed to complement the Rome that we do with our basic tours. So if you've taken a basic tour and you take this, you get a sort of an offbeat look at Rome. You're staying on the other side of the river. And then we leave Rome and we stop in Tivoli outside of town. And that is where Emperor Hadrian built his villa. And I'll tell you, several times when I need a big park filled with great Roman ruin and frames for a TV show, I go to Tivoli, and every 100 yards, there's something beautiful to use as a backdrop when I'm talking to the camera. I did that. I spent a whole day there when we were doing our art show, just so I had places to stand up that looked good and made a point. And then we drive all the way to the east coast, the Gargano Peninsula, Alberobella, Matera, and then we swing down to the area around Naples. And you'll see 6 out of the 13 days, 6 are in that Naples area. We do the Greek ruins in Paestum. We do the romantic Amalfi Coast. We do Limoncello Town, the resort town south of Naples, Sorrento, and we finish with a finale in Naples. And now I'm going to let Tomasso kind of take us on this route. Are you ready, Tomasso?
I am ready, totally.
Right. Tell us what we're going to see on 13 days, the best of South Italy on a Rick Steves tour.
So we start from Rome, but we don't see the usual Rome. We see the unusual Rome because we're staying in Trastevere. Trastevere, it was a neighbor that in the past was a kind of poor neighbor, but today is the most popular, the most intense, the most vibrant. This is where we have the nightlife, the restaurants. We stay right there,
And so people know Trastevere is like Ultra Arno. It's the other side of the river, the Tiber River, across the Tiber River. In the old days, that's where the misfits, the people that didn't want to pay taxes, the people that had the strange religions, all the non-conformist, all the interesting people, all the character was outside of town in we would say the wrong side of the tracks in our hemisphere. But of course, the rivers were the avenue for all the trade, and that's the wrong side of the river in Rome, Trastevere. And then we go into the major attractions as well, don't we?
Yes, exactly. We go to visit the Capitoline Museum, which is located in one of the 7 hills of Rome. Actually, this is the city hall behind, and we have the horse, and next to the right, we have this important museum. Actually, the statue of the wolf of Rome with Romolo and Remo. Remember, Remo actually passed away, and Romolo was the founder of the city.
Wait a minute, Remo passed away. Didn't Romo kill Remo?
Yes, that's right.
It's a little sugarcoating the history there, my friend.
Right.
So Rome killed Remus, like Cain and Abel.
Right, the 2 brothers. And actually, if it was Remo that survived, to the 2, probably Rome would be called Rema today, not Rome. So
well, in that case, I'm glad Rome killed Rema instead of Rema killing Rome, because we got Rome now instead of Rema.
Exactly. And then we visit also the Sistine Chapel. Of course, the Vatican, the Sistine Chapel is one of the highlights, in Rome. And so, in general, it's crowded, but we have really a smooth visit. In general, I would say it's not really so stressful. So with our guides, with the help of the local guides, everything is smooth in Rome.
I got to say, I was just with our Roman guide, Francesca, a month ago when we had our guide training tour in Rome. And she was taking me and 20 new guides around, and we were learning how we make a Rick Steves tour. And I was so impressed by the things that Francesca did with us. And she kept saying, we do this on our South Italy tour. And there's a beautiful cohesiveness in how we cover Rome for people who are on the South Italy tour. And I'm very proud of that and thankful for the work you guys are doing. On our way out of town, we go to Hadrian's Villa that I mentioned.
Yes.
And this is just an example of, Hadrian had a rich man's hobby of rebuilding his favorite buildings that he saw in his travels back at home in his villa. And you walk around that villa and it's like you're walking around all of Hadrian's favorite sites that he saw. And he just told his guys, build something like that on my villa. But then we get into uncharted territory for most travelers. And tell us about what we're going to encounter between here and Naples.
Yes, Vieste. Vieste, this is in the Adriatic. In the Adriatic coast, actually it was a small fisherman village in the past, but now is a pretty very well known, especially among Italians. Many Italians in summer, they go on vacation there. Look at the blue color of the ocean.
Gorgeous.
Of the Adriatic seas is fantastic. And actually Vieste is very beautiful, especially the boat ride. We do a boat ride along the coast and we see many, many caves. So this is really a beautiful spot. And then Alberobello, the truly cone houses that, again, this was incorporated in the UNESCO World Heritage List. This was the poor material that the local people had available. So this is the reason why these truly cones are made with stones and basically, were houses for farmers. But today we have a beautiful restaurants, a beautiful shopping area, beautiful hotels in the Trulli. So once again, Trulli is very mysterious, but very beautiful because most of these Trullis today are completely restored. We moved to Matera. Matera was the shame of Italy until 1950s. Today, I would say is the gem, is really the beautiful place where, many movies were filmed. The Passion of Christ, Mel Gibson was filmed there.
So it was the shame of Italy in the 50s. Why?
Yeah, because most of the people, in those years, they were living into caves with no toilets, no bathrooms, no running water. So the condition of living and the mortality was very high. And we're talking about 1950s. I mean, yesterday.
Yeah. And Naples was a little bit the same way. When I first came to Naples, it was a crazy place. Now it's good crazy, I would say. Naples is quite a success story in my mind.
It's incredible because, Naples actually was the capital of the southern part of Italy until before the unification. Before 1861, I mean, the kingdom of Naples, the kingdom to Sicily, Naples was the capital. So it has always been important for our history. And remember the origin of Naples, Greek, Nea Polis, new city. In fact, I mean, we have the surface of Naples, that this is the surface, but if we scratch the surface, we go underground, we see the underground Naples, which is really amazing. This is what I always suggest, visit the underground city because it's very, very nice.
And Naples, it's a city that, I got to say, it's one of my favorite cities because it has that urban jungle energy. And the floor plan or the street plan survives from Neapolis days, 500 years before Christ. It's a grid plan with a beautiful long straight street called Spacca Napoli. I think that's literally split Naples. And look at how this more than 2,000 year old street splits the old town. And in that street and on the small streets, this side and that side, we've got all sorts of life in the streets. There's a uniquely Neapolitan kind of living called basso living. And I understand even people with lots of money, they like to live, in the action. They like to set up their card table in the streets and sip their wine and watch the Vespas go by.
Yes, exactly. This is actually a kind of convivial moment because all the people living in the basso, they reunited themselves, they stay together and they celebrate. I mean, they have lunch together, they have a dinner together. The basso is a typical Neapolitan way of lifestyle.
And so is the pizza.
So is the pizza. Remember the pizza, especially one type of pizza, the margherita pizza was created in Naples. The pizzeria still exists. The pizzeria Brandi that in the 1865 they made, they made the pizza in honor of Queen Margaret of Savoy. They made the pizza with the color of the Italian flag.
I
So we
love it.
have,
And we should remind our friends that are watching right now, if you waved the color of the Italian flag before unification, you could end up in jail. You could end
yes.
up worse than in jail. But you had a pizza, and the pizza was the flag of Italy.
Yes, yes. I
Whoa.
mean,
Red
we
tomatoes, white
red,
white cheese, and basil.
yes, the three
Ah,
colors, simple ingredients again, and the flag of Italy is in that pizza.
Buon
So
appetito.
yes,
I love that. And a lot of Americans look at that and they might think, oh, that's a thin crust and oh, there's not very many ingredients there. That's the whole idea. It's simple, it's honest, it's perfect quality. And Italy is so passionate and brilliant about matching, special matching. I mean, if you've always thought bruschetto and cantaloupe, melone together are good, that's kind of an Italian thing, isn't it? To mix and match
yes.
sweet and salty, and it's just it works so well when it's done right.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, and again, we have this big fantasy to mix, the food in the appropriate way. In the past, you would say no cheese on the fish, but now cheese in the Nouvelle cuisine can be added to the fish.
So there's creative matching, and
Yes,
when it comes to dessert, you have plenty of options. I just love to look at even the words. I think baba means like soaked in rum. We know Nutella, we know cacao. Tartufo would be super chocolate, I think.
yes.
And over on the left, we see something that's maxi. I bet that's maxi good. And way in the far corner, barchetto, barchetta.
Bacetto, yes. This is actually a small round, chocolate stuffed with hazelnuts inside, with one all hazelnut on the top. This is typical of Naples, like the rambaba, like the maxi that you can see there with whipped cream
Nice,
and fruit.
nice. Oh boy, oh boy. And what I'm really impressed by in Italy is that whole Risorgimento, the unification of Italy movement in the 1860s. Nobody wanted a united Italy, and the Italians did it. It's a thrilling story. And when they finally united, they were proud, but they had to create a proud nation. And there was a huge building spurt. They were laying train tracks like never before, and they were building these grand galleries of iron and glass. And you find in Milano, you find in Naples, these beautiful galleries. What are we looking at here, Tommaso?
This is Galleria Umberto. This is the Galleria Umberto, which is, a kind of a sister construction of the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele in Milano. So basically, all this kind of structure of this kind of buildings were built soon after the
So
unification.
Umberto was the second king, is that right?
Oh, yes, one of the yes, the second king of
So
Italy.
it's like Naples, it's like Milano has the Gallery George Washington, and Naples will have Gallery Thomas Jefferson.
Exactly right. This is the idea. You are right.
Great museums in Napoli, because Napoli was a cultural capital. In fact, when Italy was united, Naples was kind of disrespected and felt a little disgruntled because Rome and Milano became more powerful. But we got to remember, until 1870, Naples was even a bigger cultural force than it is today. Consequently, you have a lot of great museums.
Absolutely great museum. And actually, the museums in Naples, they have among the most beautiful masterpiece, of Italy. This is, for instance, the Collezione Farnese, the Farnese collection. And wow, what I can say about the next one. This is really amazing. Rick, how beautiful it is.
No, you're right. This is a small church. When I was first going there, nobody knew about this. It was just, there's this wildly beautiful statue laying there, a marble sculpture of a corpse with a marble veil carved over his face. And of course, it's Jesus with a veil by a guy named Sammartino, I think.
Yes, San Martino. Is in the Cappella San Severo. As you said, it's a small church, it's a small chapel that from the outside, it does not tell you anything.
Nothing.
But when you go inside, oh my God, that is really something unbelievable. You could stand there hours to contemplate this.
Mesmerized, contemplating. The man did a beautiful, beautiful accomplishment with that statue. Here we see Naples at night and the skyline with Mount Vesuvius. And the cool thing about that, I think, is it's missing its top. This, I know, not because I'm a great art historian, but just I know when the mountain blew up. This has got to be before 79 AD, right?
Exactly, 79 AD was the date that, the area of Naples and Pompeii was devastated. Look how it was Mount Vesuvio and how it is today. Yes, the devastation was really massive. Many people lost their life, not because of the lava, but because of the pumice stone, a very high temperature.
And these people were buried, weren't they? And then their bodies rotted out, and they filled the cavity with plaster, and now they have a cast of the people that were killed by the eruption.
Yes, exactly. This was done by the archaeologists in order to understand, the violence, let's say, of the eruption.
That's a good way to put it, the violence. And then today you walk there with a good guide, and you understand the city. It's the best look possible, I would say, at ancient Rome. You've got beautiful, beautiful mosaics, both at Pompeii at the site, and the best treasures are taken away and put in the National Museum in Naples, where you've got a wonderful collection of ancient Roman art, statues, and frescoes. But for a lot of people, Naples, you're ready for a small town. You're ready for a limoncello when you have too much of Naples, because it is intense, I got to say. And if you go an hour south of Naples, you come to Limoncelloville, I'd say, Sorrento.
Right, that is a beautiful town, on the Mediterranean Sea, on the Tyrrhenian Sea, and yes, it's very nice. It's very quiet. Look at the main drag, the main stretch of Sorrento. This is all pedestrian. This is the passeggiata section, and also the shopping area. This is the area where you can find many limoncello store.
Oh, look at the lemons.
Oh, that has a perfect quality, the perfect variety to make the best limoncello.
Here's our TV producer, Simon. He's getting into the lemons as we were making our show there. I want to remind people there's TV shows for all of this. So you can, if you want more information, go to the website, ricksteves.com, go into the TV section and settle down and watch some Italy on TV. But you got lemon in the sorbetto, you got lemon everywhere you look, and then you head south to this romantic coastline, the Amalfi Coast, and it's just a charm bracelet of resorts all on crazy steep cliffs with tiny beaches. This is, of course, the biggest or the most famous and jet-setty resort, Positano, and it's just delightful to be able to hang out in these resorts if that's what you'd like for part of your vacation. And from the Amalfi Coast, and from Sorrento, you can take a boat just for about an hour out to Capri, and the Roman Emperor would come out here for his escape, and we can too. This has long been a resort hideaway, and you land right there, and the island is spreading out before you, and you can have a beautiful time. You can also ride the chairlift up to the very top of the island, the summit, for a grand view. It's really fun to jump in a boat, and they, for $20 or something, they'll take you all around the island, and that's a very nice tour. Have you done that, Tommaso? Take the boat around?
Many times. I mean, it's beautiful not only to see the island of Capri in Capri by bus, but also going all around by boat, because you see the Faraglioni, you see the Blue Grotto. Of course, this is one of the most important attractions of southern part of Italy. I mean, you go in this grotto with the reflection of the sun inside. The grotto becomes so blue that
Look
it's
at
really
that.
incredible.
I just love it. And your boatman will sing a little bit to demonstrate the acoustics, and then he'll force a little more tip out of you, and then he will free you to go back to your bigger boat. Just south of that, we've got more of those wonderful ancient Greek ruins at Paestum, and as I mentioned, these are some of my favorite Greek temples, and something that is really an important part of our tour. And by the way, all of this that we've been raving about, it's covered on that 13-day tour, isn't it? So we've got a chance to check out the the business of mozzarella. What's going on here, Tommaso?
Yeah, here we have the water buffaloes that are getting massages on their body in order to produce the best milk. Because remember, if the buffaloes are treating well, they produce absolutely the best milk. So we get the best mozzarella, we get the best ricotta from the milk, and we get the best yogurt. And this is what we can see in our tour. I mean, preparing the mozzarella right in front of us. It's a great experience.
Oh, and here we have this example that me is so Italian. Simple, the focus on the ingredients. You've got an insalata caprese, you've got the best mozzarella in the world, you've got tomatoes. I don't know about other people, but I think it's fair to say, if you've never had tomatoes outside of the United States, you don't really know what a tomato can taste like. And I grew up eating tomatoes dutifully, because they're healthy. And I got to Italy when I was a kid, and I was eating tomatoes like apples. They were like all of a sudden triple the taste. And when you put that together in an insalata caprese with just a beautiful olive oil, and you're right there with the water buffalo just in your memory, it is a beautiful experience. So here you see what we've just done in the Best of Italy in 13 days. You could do it on your own, or you could take a tour. You'd start in Rome, and you'd get in the bus and go all the way to the east coast, the Gargano Peninsula, Alberobella, Matera, and then over to that Bay of Naples area, the Amalfi Coast that we've talked about for the last few minutes, finishing in Naples. And from there, there's a handy airport in Naples, or you can take the train for a couple hours back to Rome.